I successfully rewired my brain in 30 days. I plan on doing it next month as well, probably every month. I mean, why wouldn't I? It truly is mind-boggling when you stop and think about it. And I'm going to teach you exactly how to do it in 30 days or less. There are 3 questions that we're going to answer in this video. Number 1, what does it mean to rewire my brain? Number 2, why should I rewire my brain? And lastly, how do I rewire my brain? Most of all, I want this to be useful. So if something is boring or unhelpful, skip it. You won't hurt my feelings. What does it mean to rewire my brain? Trust me, it sounds way cooler than it is. And no, you don't press your thumb into the back of your neck for 5 seconds. Those thumbnails are clickbait. I'm sorry. Your brain runs an incredible amount of processes every second, more than you can imagine. In fact, most of your daily behavior is done automatically, whether you realize it or not. Wait, but why don't you notice? Because these behaviors are performed incognito, under the radar, stealth mode. Okay, fine, the subconscious does them, but making your brain sound like a Navy SEAL is way more accurate once you realize what it does. These are like programs that come on, do their thing, and then fade away into the darkness until triggered again. They put you in autopilot mode so that you can focus on chewing your bubblegum while walking. These programs are really powerful, and for some reason we gave them the incredibly lackluster name habits. But let's be honest, most people hardly know what a habit actually does. Besides, rewiring your brain sounds way cooler and is much more accurate, in my opinion. Also, I wasn't joking when I said your brain runs most of your daily processes. Some estimate that your habits control around 95% of your behavior. That's a lot. That means anytime you aren't specifically focusing on something, you're running on autopilot. The program comes on, you keep functioning like normal, and then it gets seamlessly passed off to your conscious mind. That's how you can be driving, start pondering why heffalumps aren't real, and then return to the present moment having no idea who drove for the last 30 seconds. Simply put, rewiring your brain is taking a behavior that is difficult and making it automatic. But it doesn't stop there, because there's one reason above everything else as to why you should learn how to rewire your brain. This one reason changes everything. It's extremely powerful and affects your entire life. The ability to rewire your brain saves you massive amounts of mental energy. In fact, you've already experienced this. Remember the first time that you drove a car? You were hyper-focused, gripping the steering wheel with a death grip. But a few months later, no problem. You're driving with your knee, changing lanes and eating a bowl of cereal, all without skipping a beat. So what happened? This thing that took massive amounts of focus and energy the first time, now hardly takes any. This is the power of habits. They take something that at first took loads of cognitive energy and focus, and they reduce it to a minimum, all without you even realizing it. How cool is that? That you can rewire your brain for a particular behavior so that something like driving barely takes any energy. Imagine if every time you went to drive, outline a term paper, or make a coffee, it took as much energy and focus as it did the first time. If you want to feel the difference right now, grab a pen and write "The cat chased Billy." Now, write it with your non-dominant hand. Oh wow, that is really hard. That is the difference of wiring your brain for a particular behavior and not. Here in just a few minutes, I'm going to show you how to take almost anything and within a month, make it almost effortless, just like driving a car. It's time to take conscious control over this so that we can do it at will. This process involves a piece of paper, pen, your phone, and as much or as little time as you want to give it each day. There are 5 very simple steps that will program the behavior into your day and therefore wire it into your brain. Number 1, Define what you want to program into your life. Pretty obvious. Also, I walk through this entire process in this video, so you can see me doing it real time, so I'm not gonna take the time to explain it here. What I will say is only pick 2 or 3 things to start with. For sake of example, let's pick meditating, reading, and exercise. Number 2, define how much time you will do this behavior each day. With this process, don't bite off more than you can chew. If you're just starting, I would keep it under 30 minutes. The only caveat here is that it cannot be less than 5 minutes a day. Okay, that's cool and whatever, but like, how do I make these effortless? Now we're getting to the parts where if you actually want to do this, you need to pay close attention. These are very specific. Number 3, break each behavior into the shortest possible amount of time to start. Notice how I didn't say total amount of time. We are focusing specifically on the starting process, shortening the amount of time it takes to go from doing this thing to doing your new behavior. To program your brain in a month, you must be able to start that behavior within a minute or less, and it must have a crystal clear starting process. A starting process or routine is at least 3 steps, because you never go from not doing the thing to doing the thing in one step. There is always a process. There's always a chain of events. And that process needs to be boiled down to the shortest possible amount of time. Reading. Sit down, open book, and read the first 3 sentences. Meditating. Put your phone on airplane mode, sit and take 3 deep breaths. Exercise. Get your headphones, put on your gym shoes, and start your car. There is always a little bump of resistance that you have to go over before you gain momentum. But the good part is that your brain is surprisingly easy to trick in this area. But again, for you to do that, the starting process has to be clearly defined and a minute or less. Number 4, link each behavior to existing habits or durations of time. When you link a new behavior to an existing habit, make sure that it's one that doesn't move and that happens consistently, like eating lunch, leaving for work, getting home from work, going to bed, etc. For, let's take reading, for example. I could say, while I'm making lunch, I will listen to an audiobook. Or if an audiobook doesn't count, I could say, right after finishing supper, I will sit down, open my book, and read the first 3 sentences. But sometimes it doesn't work to link it to an existing habit. So in this case, you have to link it to a duration, like this. Between waking up and eating breakfast, I will put my phone in airplane mode, sit, and take 3 deep breaths. Number 5, review your progress daily and weekly. I personally created a to-do list on my calendar app that had each one of these behaviors, and I set it to repeat each day. You can also get habit tracking apps, but seriously, nothing fancy is needed. I personally use an archaic one. It's free and simple. You can set reminders. That's all I care about. You wanna check this at the end of each day and see how you did. But besides daily feedback, we also wanna pick one day to review how you did that week. This is probably the most important part of the whole process. As you review, ask yourself if there's a better plan of attack. Trying harder is not a better plan of attack. If you find yourself not doing a particular behavior, figure out why. Each week, try a new strategy. Almost all of this boils down to what I mentioned earlier. How long does it take you to start your habit? And how clear is the routine you have established to get you started? The secret that most people don't know is that the starting process is the hardest part of any behavioral change. If you are going to fail at adding a new behavior, it's almost always within the first 5 minutes of starting it. There you have it. Rewire your brain in 30 days. It's hard, a bit boring, and not overly exciting, but it's worth learning. Once you teach yourself this skill, there's almost no limit to the things that you can program into your brain. For a personal look at how my month is going right now, you can join my newsletter and I'll send you an update.